Happy Friday, everybody. Apologies for not putting out a video yesterday. That was actually on me. I should have done it in the morning, but unfortunately I was lazy. Just transparency there. So I didn't put it out, but I have had time to think about this topic and speak about it a lot. And just some insight into me. I am on a spiritual journey, as one of the many journeys that I'm on right now, learning a lot about religion, about what my spirituality and relationship with God means to me, about how to speak to other people about it, how to have insightful conversations, and really just have an open mind and be in a continual phase and state of learning. And that's who I am as an individual, but I feel like there are sometimes areas in our life where they're more prevalent or we're more exploratory and we have a bigger focus there. And I love having conversations around spirituality. I've got very close friends in my life who are Christians. I've got very close friends in my life who are Muslims. I've got close family members who are Hindu and Sikh. And so I've been able to see a lot of different faith backgrounds growing up. My spiritual journey really started, as far as a serious spiritual journey, when I was 22. And in that situation, I had a big life event change in my family. And so I was seeking God and just seeking help and resources, and actually found Christianity through a close group of friends, and really fell in love with the practices, with Jesus, with God, with improving my life, having discipline, and just following a set of principles, belonging to a community, and having a guidance and a compass, if you will. Always had great parents, great family growing up. Religion and spirituality weren't a big part of our household, but looking back now, I can say that I grew up with godly values. And in that spiritual journey, I learned a lot. I'm now in more of a spiritual place than I am in a religious place, but it's been a pretty incredible road, and I'm excited to continue learning about it. One of the biggest things that I am learning in this season that I've taken from my spiritual journey, and this is for Sijin, but I'm sure many other people can relate, is the value of empathy. And I believe God has given me experiences to where I can experience and develop empathy at higher levels. And one of the things that I know about spiritual journeys is a lot of times we don't ask for it. A lot of times it's kind of given to us. And there's a bit of mystery and a bit of intrigue around that. And sometimes we don't know how all our life situations lead up to that. Sometimes we don't understand why certain people are led to a spiritual enlightenment while other people don't focus on that, or they don't consider that. I think inherently we're spiritual beings. So we all have some level of spiritual considerations. Some people don't at all because of potentially prior experiences. But empathy has been the biggest thing that I've learned. And I'm probably combining two videos in one here, spiritual background and empathy. But I've learned so much on my path. Growing up, I had the great fortune of being pretty sheltered, which allowed me to form certain opinions, certain thoughts, and certain beliefs around how certain people could live, should live, or were living. And that sometimes wasn't the healthiest thing. And so I approached certain situations with judgment or with disdain for someone's situation, or just kind of making fun of and poking at that. And that's a point of vulnerability for me to express that. And I know none of us are perfect, but that was who I could be at times. And God has shown me through my spiritual journey that there's some things that are in control, but there's some things that are certainly not. And so you have to have a level of grace, a level of understanding, and a level of expectation. And really with that empathy, it's changed how I look at people completely, because you never know who you're meeting. You never know where they're at when you meet them. And you don't know the whole gambit of life experiences that comes with that. Now, that doesn't make intolerant or bad behaviors excusable, but it does allow you to look at someone as a human being versus looking at them as, something beyond that or something less than that, or judging them from a place where you probably have gaps and issues in your life in different areas potentially. And it just allows us to be, I think, a better society. When we realize we're all spiritual beings, when we realize we're all spiritual creatures, when we realize we've all come from somewhere, we are at a current state, and we all have a future state, which is unknown, then you tend to treat people differently, with kindness, with respect, with compassion, with understanding. And we all have our moments, and it doesn't mean people don't deserve correction or advice or feedback or criticism on some levels, because I do believe those are kind of the checks and balances that keep us in order. But I do think that there is a higher level of empathy that's needed in order for us to just get together and get along better as a group of people. And that is one thing that I really enjoy about living in a metropolitan city like DC, is a lot of people have an open-mindedness and generally an empathy towards that. Of course, there's always places where people don't, but that's been really cool. And that's been really what my biggest learning lesson has been on my spiritual journey. So I'm excited to continue to share about that, to give you guys insight and feedback on what that looks like, what I'm learning, how I'm evolving, because I believe this is an important thing to share. God or the universe or the creator or whatever you believe in, if you do believe in anything, is a very important conversation, because it's, I believe, central to the way we operate, live, and make choices in our life, if we want to maximize our life and have the most fulfilling life with the one life that we do have. So it's exciting to experience it, to share that with other people, to talk about it, and just to have an open dialogue and conversation. And hopefully this provides a platform for you all to do that. So great to see everybody. Excited that it's Friday, excited that it's the weekend. As I mentioned, one of my best friends, Antonio, is here, and we're shooting videos for our other channel. So excited for you guys to see that as well. If you want to check out The Social Intellects, there's some craziness there, but hope you guys have a great day, and we'll talk soon.